There was a girl named Anya living in a small town in India. Every morning, she watched people speaking English confidently on YouTube, in colleges, in offices, and even in small interviews on social media. She admired them quietly. But whenever someone asked her to speak in English, her throat became dry. Her mind knew a few words, but fear always arrived before the words could come out. One day, her teacher asked a simple question in class. What is your dream? Anya knew the answer in Hindi immediately, but in English, she froze. Some students laughed softly. She sat down feeling embarrassed. That evening, she stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "Maybe English is not for people like me." But her mother said something beautiful while making tea in the kitchen. She said, "Beta, confidence does not come first. Practice comes first." That sentence stayed in Anya's heart. The next morning, she made a very small decision. She would not try to become fluent in one day. She would simply speak one sentence daily. While brushing her teeth, she said, "Today is a new day." While opening the window, she said, "The weather is beautiful." While drinking tea, she said, "This tea is very hot." These were tiny sentences, very tiny, but something magical started happening. Her fear became smaller day by day. Most Indian girls do not struggle because they are weak. They struggle because they are afraid of judgment. In many homes, girls are taught to stay quiet, to avoid mistakes, to think twice before speaking. So when English enters their lives, they feel pressure instead of freedom. But confidence grows when pressure becomes practice. Anya started carrying a small notebook. Whenever she heard a new word, she wrote it down. Opportunity, improve, journey, believe. Then she created small sentences. I believe in myself. This is my journey. I want better opportunities. At first, her pronunciation was not perfect. Sometimes she forgot grammar. Sometimes she mixed Hindi and English together, but she continued speaking. One evening, she went to a nearby grocery store. Usually, she spoke only in Hindi there, but this time she smiled and said softly, "Can I get one bottle of water?" The shopkeeper simply gave her the bottle. Nothing bad happened. Nobody laughed. Nobody judged her. That moment changed her mindset completely. She realized that fear in our mind is often bigger than reality. Confidence is not born in big speeches, it is born in tiny daily moments. Another Indian girl named Meher lived in Delhi. She loved watching English movies, but never spoke English herself. One day, she started using a simple trick. Every night, she watched 5 minutes of an English interview and repeated the speaker's sentences slowly. The speaker said, "I learned from my failures." Meher paused the video and repeated, "I learned from my failures," again and again. This technique improved not only her English, but also her confidence, because she stopped translating every sentence in her mind. She started feeling the language naturally. That is the secret many confident girls discover. English is not only studied, it is lived. When Indian girls start using English in daily life, even in small ways, their confidence grows naturally. A girl cooking in the kitchen can say, "I am cutting vegetables. This rice smells good. I need more salt." A college student can say, "I have an assignment today. I will complete my work tonight. I am preparing for my exam." A working woman can say, "I will send the email. Please give me some time. I understand the project." These daily sentences slowly build fluency because the brain learns through repetition, not pressure. One day, Anya decided to speak English with her younger brother for 10 minutes daily. At first, both of them laughed because their English sounded broken. Sometimes they forgot words. Anya said, "Please pass the cutting thing." Her brother laughed and said, "Knife?" Both laughed together. But those 10 minutes became powerful. They created a safe place where mistakes were normal. That is important. Confidence grows faster in safe environments. Many Indian girls wait for perfect English before speaking, but confident people become confident because they speak imperfect English every day. Even famous speakers once struggled. Even fluent people once felt nervous. Nobody is born speaking English confidently. One Sunday, Anya attended a family function. Usually she stayed silent around relatives because they often compared children. Sharma ji ki daughter speaks fluent English. Look at her confidence. These comparisons hurt her deeply before, but this time something had changed inside her. When a relative asked about her studies, she answered softly in English, "I am improving my communication skills." Her sentence was simple, but her eyes carried confidence. That night she smiled before sleeping because she realized she was changing slowly. Confidence is not loud. Sometimes confidence is simply speaking one sentence without fear. There was another girl named Kavya from Mumbai. She worked in a small office. During meetings, she always remained quiet, even when she had good ideas. One day her manager said, "Kavya, your work is excellent. Why don't you speak more?" She replied honestly, "Sir, I fear my English is not good." The manager smiled and said, "Good ideas matter more than perfect grammar." That sentence transformed her life. The next meeting, she spoke just one line. "I think this idea can help our team." Her voice shook slightly, but she spoke. And nobody laughed. People listened. Sometimes we think the world is waiting for our mistakes, but most people are busy thinking about their own fears. Confidence grows when girls stop trying to sound perfect and start trying to express themselves. Anya later started recording her own voice on her phone. At first, she hated listening to herself. She felt awkward. But after 1 month, she noticed improvement. Her pronunciation became clearer. Her pauses became smaller. Her confidence became stronger. She realized something important. Progress becomes visible only when practice becomes consistent. Many Indian girls also improve through friendships. Some create English-speaking groups on WhatsApp. Some send voice notes in English. Some practice through daily conversations with cousins or classmates. One girl sends a message, "How was your day?" Another replies, "My day was good. I completed my homework." Simple conversations, small progress, big confidence. English confidence is not built through giant grammar books alone. It is built through daily usage. Sometimes girls think they are too old to improve their English. But language does not care about age. It cares about consistency. A mother can learn. A college student can learn. A village girl can learn. A working woman can learn. Anyone can learn. One evening, Anya traveled by train to another city. She met a girl sitting beside her who spoke fluent English confidently. Earlier, this would have intimidated her, but this time she became curious instead of insecure. She asked softly, "How did you improve your English?" The girl smiled and said, "Daily practice. I stopped being afraid of mistakes." That answer sounded simple, but it carried years of truth. Fear disappears when action becomes stronger than overthinking. Anya then created a new habit. Every night before sleeping, she spoke about her day in English for 5 minutes. "Today I went to college. I met my friend. I studied English. I felt nervous in class, but I answered the question." These small reflections improved her fluency naturally because she was speaking about real life, not memorized textbook paragraphs. Many Indian girls become confident when they stop treating English like an exam subject and start treating it like communication. Language is a bridge, not a competition. One day, Meher entered a cafe in Delhi. Usually she pointed at the menu silently. But this time she said confidently, "Can I have one cold coffee, please?" The waiter smiled politely. That small interaction gave her unexpected happiness. Confidence often grows through tiny victories nobody else notices. Anya also learned another important lesson. Confident people do not know every word. Even fluent speakers forget words sometimes, but they continue speaking calmly. Instead of stopping completely, they use simple alternatives. If she forgot the word appointment, she said meeting. If she forgot delicious, she said very tasty. Communication matters more than difficult vocabulary. Many girls lose confidence because social media shows unrealistic perfection. They watch fluent influencers speaking fast English and think, "I can never speak like this." But they forget one thing. Fluency shown today is built on years of hidden practice. Nobody posts the embarrassing mistakes. Nobody posts the nervous beginnings. Nobody posts the broken sentences. But every confident speaker once had those moments. One rainy evening, Amya stood on a rooftop and remembered the girl who once stayed silent in class. She smiled because now she could express her thoughts more freely, not perfectly, but confidently, and that was enough. Her journey inspired her younger cousin Ria, who was also afraid of English. Ria asked, "Didi, what if people laugh at me?" Anya replied gently, "People may laugh for 1 minute, but if you stop trying, regret can stay for years." That sentence stayed in Ria's heart. Soon both cousins practiced together daily. "Ria, what are you doing?" "Anya, I'm studying." "Ria, what will you do tomorrow?" "Anya, I will visit my friend." Simple practice, daily improvement, slow confidence. This is how many Indian girls become confident in English day by day. Not through magic, not overnight, but through courage repeated daily. Some improve while traveling to college. Some improve through YouTube videos. Some improve through mirror practice. Some improve through journaling. Some improve through podcasts. Some improve through daily conversations. But all confident girls share one thing in common. They continue even when they feel embarrassed, because confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is speaking despite fear. One day, Anya gave a small presentation in her college. Her hands trembled at first, but she remembered how far she had come. From one tiny sentence in front of the mirror to speaking in front of a classroom. After the presentation, a quiet girl approached her and said, "Your English is very good. I want to improve too." Anya smiled emotionally because she realized something powerful. The girl who once searched for confidence had now become inspiration for someone else. That is how transformation happens, slowly, quietly, day by day. And maybe somewhere in India tonight, another girl is standing in front of her mirror whispering her first English sentence. Maybe her grammar is broken. Maybe her pronunciation is imperfect. Maybe her confidence is still shaking. But if she continues speaking tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, one day her voice will become stronger than her fear. And on that day, she will realize that confidence was never hiding inside perfect English. It was hiding inside her courage to keep trying. A few months later, Amya noticed something surprising. English was no longer only a subject in her notebook. It had slowly become part of her daily life. While walking to college, she read signboards in English. While scrolling on her phone, she tried understanding captions without translating every word into Hindi. Even her thoughts sometimes started forming in simple English sentences. One afternoon, she sat in a crowded classroom waiting for her professor. Usually the room was full of noise, but that day she was quietly reading an English article on her phone. Her friend Pooja looked at her and asked jokingly, "Madam, now you forgot Hindi?" Anya laughed and replied in English, "No, I'm just practicing." The sentence was small, but this time she spoke naturally without preparing it in her mind first. That was real progress. Confidence often enters quietly. One day, you suddenly realize you are no longer scared of simple conversations. Pooja later confessed something important. She said, "I also want to improve my English, but I feel shy." Anya smiled because she understood that feeling deeply. She said, "Then start with me. We will practice together." From that day, they created a simple challenge. Every afternoon during lunch break, they would speak only in English for 15 minutes. At first, their conversations were funny. Pooja said, "Yesterday I'm going to market." Anya laughed softly and corrected her. "Yesterday I went to the market." Then Anya herself made mistakes too. Instead of laughing at each other, they helped each other. That changed everything. Many Indian girls improve faster when they stop hiding their mistakes and start learning from them openly. One evening, Anya's father returned home tired after work. He noticed her speaking English confidently on a phone call with her friend. After the call, he smiled proudly and said, "Your confidence has changed." Those words touched her heart because earlier she used to hide whenever guests asked her to speak English. Now she could hold small conversations comfortably. But her journey was not perfect every day. Some days she still struggled. Some days she forgot simple words. Some days she compared herself to fluent speakers online and felt discouraged again. Growth is never straight. Even confident people have insecure days. The difference is they continue anyway. One Sunday, Anya attended an English-speaking workshop in her city. There were many students there from different backgrounds. Some were fluent, some were beginners. One girl from a village stood up nervously and introduced herself in broken English. "Myself, Priya. I want to improve English because I want to become teacher." Some students smiled, but the trainer immediately clapped for her courage. Then he said something powerful. "Fluency can be taught. Courage cannot. Courage must come from inside." The entire room became silent. Anya realized that many girls remain silent not because they lack intelligence, but because they fear embarrassment. And fear becomes stronger when society mocks mistakes instead of encouraging effort. After the workshop, Anya decided to stop apologizing for her English. Earlier, she always said things like, "Sorry, my English is weak. Sorry for bad English." Now she changed her mindset. Instead, she said, "I am learning." That one sentence carried hope instead of shame. Every confident person is still learning. Even fluent speakers continue learning new words throughout life. One day, while traveling in a metro train, Anya saw two schoolgirls speaking confidently in English mixed with Hindi. Their grammar was not perfect, but their energy was fearless. One girl said, "Tomorrow we have presentation, na?" The other replied, "Yes, but don't worry, we will manage." Anya smiled because she understood something important. Confidence grows when language becomes natural and relaxed instead of stressful. English does not need to sound robotic. It needs to feel alive. At home, Anya started another habit. She placed sticky notes on objects around her room: mirror, window, chair, bottle, door. Every time she looked at those objects, her vocabulary improved naturally. Slowly, her brain stopped translating everything from Hindi into English. She began recognizing words directly. That is how children learn language too. through repetition, through daily exposure, through real-life connection. One rainy night, electricity went out in her area. The room became dark except for candlelight. Her younger brother asked her in English, jokingly, "How are you feeling in this horror movie situation?" Anya laughed loudly and replied, "I am feeling brave." Earlier, she would have answered in Hindi automatically. Now English had become more comfortable. This is how confidence grows quietly, sentence by sentence. Months later, Anya got an opportunity to attend a small college interview program. Earlier, such situations terrified her. She feared people would judge her accent or grammar. But this time, she prepared calmly. Before entering the room, she took a deep breath and reminded herself, "I do not need perfect English. I only need courage to express myself." During the interview, one teacher asked, "Tell us something about yourself." Earlier, her mind would have gone blank, but now she smiled softly and answered, "My name is Anya. I come from a small town, but I have big dreams. I enjoy learning communication skills because I believe confidence can change a person's future." Her English was simple, but it was honest, and honesty always sounds powerful. After the interview, she walked outside feeling emotional because she remembered the old version of herself who once feared even one sentence. That evening, she called her mother and said excitedly, "I spoke confidently today." Her mother replied lovingly, "See, practice never betrays hard work." Many Indian girls slowly discover that English confidence changes more than language. It changes personality too. Girls who once stayed silent start sharing opinions. Girls who once avoided conversations start asking questions. Girls who once doubted themselves start dreaming bigger. Because language opens doors not only outside, but also inside the mind. Anya later started helping younger students in her neighborhood. Every evening, a few girls gathered at her house for English practice. One girl struggled with pronunciation. Another girl feared grammar. Another girl spoke too softly. Anya never mocked them because she remembered her own painful beginnings. Instead, she encouraged them gently. "Speak slowly. Don't fear mistakes. Repeat again. Very good." That positive environment changed the girls completely. Within weeks, they started speaking more openly. Confidence blooms where judgment disappears. One small girl named Sanjana was especially shy. Whenever she tried speaking English, she covered her face while laughing nervously. One day, Anya asked her softly, "Why do you hide your face?" Sanjana replied quietly, "Because my English is bad." Anya sat beside her and said something unforgettable. "Your English is not bad, it is growing." Those words made Sanjana smile. Sometimes people do not need criticism, they need encouragement. Another important thing Anya learned was listening. Many learners only focus on speaking, but confident English also grows through listening carefully. She listened to podcasts while cleaning her room. She listened to interviews while traveling. She listened to motivational speeches before sleeping. Even when she understood only 60%, she continued listening. Slowly, her ears adjusted to English sounds naturally. That is why children learn language faster than adults. They hear it repeatedly without fear. One morning, while buying vegetables, Anya accidentally replied to the seller in English, "How much is this?" Then she paused and laughed at herself. The seller smiled kindly and answered in Hindi. But that moment showed her how deeply English had entered her daily habits. Practice creates naturalness, and naturalness creates confidence. One day, Pooja asked her, "When did you finally stop feeling scared?" Anya thought for a moment and answered honestly, "I still feel nervous sometimes, but now I speak anyway." That is real confidence. Not becoming fearless, but refusing to let fear control your voice. Many Indian girls think confidence means speaking fast English with a foreign accent. But true confidence is much simpler. It is introducing yourself proudly. It is asking questions without shame. It is expressing opinions clearly. It is continuing after mistakes. It is believing your voice deserves to be heard. Months later, during a college event, Anya was asked to host a small program because teachers noticed her communication skills improving. The old Anya would have immediately refused, but now she accepted nervously. On the day of the event, her heart raced as she stood near the microphone. Hundreds of students sat in front of her. For 1 second, fear returned. But then she remembered every small step that brought her here. The mirror practice, the tiny daily sentences, the grocery store conversations, the voice recordings, the lunch break English talks, the embarrassing mistakes, the moments she almost gave up. All those small moments had quietly built this new version of her. She smiled at the audience and began. Good morning, everyone. Today I want to welcome you all. Her voice trembled slightly at first. Then it became steady. And somewhere in the crowd, another shy girl watched her with admiration, thinking, if she can do it, maybe I can too. That is how confidence spreads. One brave voice inspires another. One girl's journey becomes hope for someone else, and slowly, across classrooms, hostels, buses, kitchens, offices, and small Indian towns, thousands of girls continue becoming more confident in English day by day. Not because they are perfect, but because they refuse to stop trying.